Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3 has just released new characters and story information on the official Dragon Ball website, and I'm here to read out all of the latest info of the new characters from Age 1000. Hello everyone, it's me again, Steve Dojo here, back to more Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3. That still feels so weird to say, and without further ado, they've actually released new information on characters in Xenoverse 3, so I actually get to see a roster expansion as well as more information. So let's just get straight to it. Yeah, a new trailer for Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3 titled Welcome to West City has just dropped. This trailer is jam-packed with the latest info about this new Dragon Ball game project that's set to launch in 2027. And yeah, that's still absolutely insane to think about. We still have over half a year before this game eventually releases, and we're getting details on it now. So again, remember guys, everything's subject to change. That doesn't mean that if you don't like the way it looks now, you're right to complain, sure, but that doesn't mean that the game is completely doomed, alright? Things are still going to change. This trailer opens with a shocking revelation. You are the protagonist. Really? You have arrived in the world of Age 1000 from a different era, and it appears you have no recollection of who you are. Okay, I wanted to actually mention this earlier, but they mentioned Age 1000 again here, even though we know the title of the game is Dragon Ball Xenoverse. So I'm thinking the focus on Age 1000 is definitely because they are putting heavy emphasis on the Dragon Ball Online section of the story. Like, this isn't just Age 1000 because, oh my god, it takes place in the future. It's like, no, the location actually matters a lot. The time and location really does matter a lot. And it might mean that they actually could incorporate a lot of the missing lore and stories that we didn't get from Dragon Ball Online in Xenoverse. So I'm actually curious to see how that goes, because again, Dragon Ball Online is the only reason we have Xenoverse 1 and 2. So obviously, referencing Dragon Ball Online heavily, or even taking any of... Think about Xenoverse 3 story is probably just the unfinished version of Dragon Ball Online story, because we never got to see how that ended. So maybe that's what Xenoverse 3 is going to be about. But let's get back to it. After encountering new characters such as Brett, Bulma, who retains her youthful looks even in this era, which again, I'm sure we'll get an explanation on that in the main story, and Gamma 1, who has 1000 prints on his chest, so he's Gamma 1000. I think that's such a cool idea. You'll lead the life of a student at West City University, as well as a member of the Great Saiyan Squad, a group dedicated to preserving peace throughout the world. Yeah, see, keep in mind, they use the term world here, not like throughout space and time. Now, again, it's still a Xenoverse game. I'm very sure it have to do with space and time to some degree, but it's definitely taking inspiration from Dragon Ball Online, because you only saved, like, you only went around one world just doing stuff in Dragon Ball Online. The only people who were really jumping around through time were like Xeno, Trunks, and Mira. You, on the other hand, you were literally just, just saving the world. You weren't jumping through time like super crazy. Like, basically only Trunks and Mira could manipulate time. I'm sure Age 1000 is going to have a very similar like premise to that, because Mira only needed to jump through time because he needed Goku's DNA to become completely pure, which is what we see in Xenoverse 2, where he gets a weird Super Saiyan 4 look. Because I want to remind you, when Dragon Ball Online came out, Goku's newest form was Super Saiyan 4. Super Saiyan God didn't even exist then. So I'm very curious how everything's going to change now that we have Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Blue, if Toro and Mira are going to make a return. I'm sure we'll still get to travel through time, but we're going to have to do it through different means. That's not all. The second half of this trailer contains a shocking scene where the protagonist absorbs a soul-like object into their body, transforming them into some familiar characters, the soul change mechanic. And you won't miss a single second of this trailer with its sneak peek of the story and over new battle systems. Check out the trailer now. And of course, the Welcome to West City trailer. We have seen this before. In fact, some of you guys have probably seen this hundreds of times. So I'm not going to watch it again, obviously. I do want to just get past this part and continue on with the new story details. Oh, speaking of new details, game audio and visuals are still under development and may differ from the final version. Well, there you go. I mean, I don't think I needed to say that, but a lot of people are really skeptical on a lot of Xenoverse 3 related things. I think that's a little unfair. Again, the game still doesn't release until next year, and next year isn't like 1 month away. It's still over half a year away. And even then, it might see an October release, so it'd still be over a whole year away, if that's the actual case. Again, obviously, I'm still going to remain optimistic when it comes to Xenoverse 3, because they didn't mess up Xenoverse 2, so I don't think they're going to mess up Xenoverse 3. And yeah, obviously, some visuals are shown for promotional use only. I think this means that some parts in this trailer that we see aren't actually going to be in the game. They're just meant for like hype and aura for the trailer, which is like valid. A lot of trailers do that. They have hype and aura sections, things that never actually happen in the game. And oh, here we go. Profiles of characters from Age 1000 revealed. Gimme. All right. The profiles of new characters in this game are revealed to coincide with the release of the new Welcome to West City trailer. Brett, there he is. Oh my goodness. And there's the profile for Brett too, an aspiring hero who engages in a friendly rivalry with the protagonist, viewing them as someone he can show the ropes to. Oh, it's actually interesting. I thought we were going to get our rivalry with Tap. We're getting it with Brett. I thought Brett was going to be like the buddy cop character. I mean, he can still be the buddy cop character. You're allowed to have rivalries with your buddy cop character. That's why it's called a friendly rivalry. But I thought Tap would be the one we'd have a rivalry with, since he's very Vegeta looking in design. It's actually Brett. I'm going to say this now since they did actually openly just call Brett a rival here. I do think Brett's probably going to have a part where we have to beat him up or fight him at the end of the game. It kind of depends on how the system works, because if you guys recall, Xenoverse 1 ended with you fighting a bunch of heroes at the end of the game after they get like evil mind controlled. And Xenoverse 2 also has the Legacy Time Patroller, your Xenoverse 1 character, get mind controlled towards the end of the game, and you have to fight him as a boss fight. And if we don't get the Legacy Time Patroller for Xenoverse 3, which will just be our Xenoverse 2 character, then most likely the good guy turned bad guy that we're gonna have to fight is Brett. I think Brett's design kind of works for that. His hair is kind of edgy, the scars on his face. If you put a Time Patroller or Time Breaker mask over him, you can make that look kind of intimidating. So I fully expect to see, I mean, I'm not saying it's gonna happen guaranteed, but I fully expect to see something with Brett that's kind of big towards the end of the game. And there is the Japanese VA, Hiro Shimono. Okay, they didn't actually list the English VA here. But the English VA for Brett is apparently the same guy who does Gumball. So he's Hopkins Jacobs. The voice of Gumball is apparently Brett. I don't know if that's the new Gumball, because I know there's a new Gumball show out or something, or if that's the classic Gumball, but the voice of Gumball is Brett, so absolute insanity. And then we have Tap. Here we go. Okay, I have a lot to say about Tap's design, but first, let's see. A profile. A genius who skipped a grade to enter university, possessing both brains and brawn. Oh wow, that really adds to it. Okay, I was gonna say originally that Tap was definitely okay. I thought Brett was originally a Saiyan, but obviously he has to be an Earthling, right? Because we'd have seen him go Super Saiyan by now in any of the promotional stuff. But Tap is obviously a Saiyan. He's got the Saiyan tail, but he's more Vegeta adjacent, if that makes any sense. I know you guys are gonna be like, well, Steve, obviously he's more Vegeta like. Look how rude he is and stuff. But when I say he's more Vegeta like, I don't even just mean Vegeta. I mean like Bulma too, because he's got the blue hair, he's got the Vegeta eye design, he's got the Saiyan tail. And he's smart. Like, I'm not saying that he's like Bulma's like son or like offshoot of like Bulma's family or some weird stuff, but it feels like, because again, you have to remember that this game is basically Dragon Ball Online, the future versions of Goku and Vegeta technically still exist, even though in this timeline Goku and Vegeta aren't dead, which is more confusing. I'm not sure how they're going to tackle that. But because in Dragon Ball Online, so many characters are descendants of Goku and Vegeta, and obviously bear aspects of their designs. But Goku and Vegeta are dead in those timelines, so it's, you know, it's kind of less weird. But Vegeta's just going to take a left while he's going out for milk, and he's going to see a guy who looks like him and has this wife's hair color, and that's probably going to be really weird to him. I'm very curious how they actually handle the aspect of characters being descendants of other characters. Maybe they'll just give up on that entirely, and it just so happens that he has the aspects of Bulma and Vegeta, you know, the brains of Bulma and the brawn of Vegeta. That's a really nice gimmick too, and honestly, he's probably going to be the reason we unlock Super Saiyan 4, or just anything like that, because look, he's already got the wicked eye design, right? And then he's got the Saiyan tail too, and we already know that Saiyan hairs in this game are different from their base form hairs, so his hair's going to spike up when he goes Super Saiyan, and you can imagine how a Super Saiyan 3 is going to look, and him having the Saiyan tail easily teases Super Saiyan 4 for his character. There's just so many cool things in this game that I want to see, and we're gonna, and I'm so glad we're actually getting news on this game kind of frequently. It's not like Sparking Zero where we kind of got put in a content drought after a bit when it came to, hey, what's going on with this game, you know what I mean? That's actually very cool to see. Let's go on to the next character. Oh, they didn't actually say his VA here either. I'm pretty sure the VA of Tap, because he already announced it on Twitter, is the VA for Okarun from Dandadan. So again, if you guys are watching Dandadan, big ups. I haven't seen that show, but everyone likes it, so I'm happy for you guys. And there's Rom. There you go. Okay, so Rom is a university student who also works as an idol. She loves putting smiles on people's faces. I have a lot to say about Rom. They also don't mention a voice actress here, but voice actress is Elsie Lovelock, the voice for Lucy's Endless Zone Zero, but I know her as Lene from Wuthering Waves because that game is awesome. Rom here, though, is... Okay, they actually do say something about how she loves putting smiles on people's faces, and I could be reaching, but let me get the other page out, actually. This page is in Japanese. This was during the Japanese interview for the gameplay showcase, but I promise you this is very relevant for what I'm going to talk about with Rom. Let's just translate this really quickly, and we can actually see here, because there are character archetypes mentioned for Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3, and they mentioned, yes, here we go. The allied Great Saiyan Squadron members, NPCs in the demo, perform various actions such as blocking enemy attacks with barriers and healing damaged player characters. Now, one of the other interviews mentioned that Frieza was a zoner. We didn't see a Frieza soul change ever. Someone who played it did mention that Frieza soul change makes him a zoner, and you guys know that's weird because Frieza's not even a zoner in Xenoverse 1 or 2, which means, again, even though the gameplay is more simplified, characters have roles, or they play different kind of benefits, for lack of a better word. One of the best examples I can bring up is that obviously we have 3 custom created characters here, but then we also have Brett. I'm wondering if this game is actually 4-player multiplayer, or if it's 3 players still, just like Xenoverse 1 and 2, and the 4th person is always one of these special time patrollers, like, you know, Rom, Tap, and Brett. I'm not saying that's the case 100%, but it's a very interesting thing to bring up because we know, again, we saw gameplay of Brett already. Brett is like all-arounder. He's just a super supportive all-rounder who just helps you on missions. Tap, being both the brawns and the brains, is a really good excuse to give him high damage attacks. Maybe very low HP because of his stature, right? He doesn't live very long, but you want to bring him on missions because he hits very hard. So, especially for raid bosses or for giant battles, he's probably going to excel. And then, obviously, you would bring Rom because, you know, she's a singer, a healer, a supporter. I mean, if the love hearts on her outfit, like, kind of don't give it away, then I guess her general overall really nice demeanor and very less offensive design, if that makes any sense. Tap looks like he'd beat you up for just looking at him, and Brett with the scars on his face kind of adds the intimidation factor to him, even if you know he's pretty jovial at heart. But she seems like someone who would actually support on the battlefield more than actually attack. Ian, and her being a Glins too, I think kind of adds to this, by the way. We still need to see more on Glins being, like, you know, customizable, but being a Supreme Kai race and having support skills, I think that makes complete sense, guys. So there's character archetypes in this, although it might apply more to the support patrollers like Brett, Tap, and Rom. But I did want to mention that because I thought it was very striking that the characters that they've chosen to reveal seem to have archetypes, and we know the game is going to have archetypes. Oh, yes. And now we're moving on to Lillica, or Lillica? I'm going to call her Lillica. She doesn't have a special super outfit here like the rest of them do, but I'm sure she's also a fighter as well. One of the protagonist's classmates in the university at the end of pretending. That is very little information. Okay. And obviously, they don't say the voice actress here, but Lillica's voice actress is the voice of Juno from Overwatch. And in case if you don't play Overwatch anymore and you play something more recent, Dagger from Marvel Rivals. So run from it, hide from it. You cannot escape the hero shooter character. Speaking of hero shooter, what if she actually has, this could be a reach, by the way, I'm pointing out this is a major reach. What if she actually introduces like a gunplay? We already know we could change characters' battle styles, right? Characters can have swords, characters can use martial arts, characters can be supporting characters, they can have all these other things going on. What if she introduces, and remember, Gamma 1 is a very important character in the setting. So the idea of characters having gun-based battle styles isn't too crazy to actually bring up. I'm actually very hyped to see what they do with the expansion of the story on this. And she doesn't have a lot of information, nor do we see her combat outfit. So I guess maybe we'll see more of her as the story expands. They do say very little about every character here, but that's because if they say any more, it'd probably be a spoiler, because everything we're seeing here is obviously very early in the game's story, right? All these characters, super early story. They're not going to reveal anything from midway through or late way through. So for now, early story information, but Lillica's is just basically that she's, you know, the group friend. Although Lillica is giving me the vibes of that one human character, and you guys, some of you guys might know. That one human character in Jump Force that was actually the main female antagonist in disguise, Galena. I'm not saying that that's exactly what's going on with Lillica, but her super unassuming design, while also hanging out with the rest of these extremely important characters who have pretty, you know, really eye-striking, like eye-catching, striking designs, right? And then her being like kind of normal by comparison, it makes you think maybe there's an evil subplot. I kind of hope there isn't. I kind of hope she's just her own character, but you know, we'll have to wait and see when the game comes out, or when we see more from the advertisements, right? Maybe we'll see a trailer where she has like an evil smirk and I'll just kind of confirm it. Oh, here's more. With the release of what the hell? Why did they start this like every YouTuber starts a Dragon Ball video? With the release of Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3, you guys have heard Dotodoya, me, and everyone else say that. They actually start, okay, well, whatever. With the release of Welcome to the West City trailer, info about the world of Age 1000, they said it again, see, it's not just that the game is called Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3, it's very important that the game is set in the far future. They are doing a lot with this timeline. I cannot wait to see it, man. Oh my god, okay. Info about the world of Age 1000 and its characters has started to be revealed. The anticipation for the launch of Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3 just keeps growing. And I can't wait to see it grow further. Oh, let's see. Oh, that's the end, I think. Check out the Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3's official website over Dragon Ball Games X account for future updates. Okay, and there's a link to both. And you can also stay up to date on the latest info via the official Dragon Ball site. We've also got a hands-on report for the playable demo that was unveiled at Summer Game Fest 2026, held in Los Angeles, California on June 5th. Be sure to check it out. And yeah, that's the end. Oh my goodness gracious. Well, we already know that we're going to get constant updates from this site. The Dragon Ball official site basically has an update every week. Now, it doesn't mean that the update's always something important, but it does have an update every week. So I'm curious to see if there's going to be any weekly updates to Age 1000. I call the Age 1000 as well myself. I'm very curious if there's any weekly updates to Xenoverse 3 Age 1000 that the Dragon Ball official site's going to give us. And even if the official site doesn't have anything, I do want to remind you that this is showing up in VJump every month. I want to remind you, the Xenoverse 2 DLC still hasn't got anything. Xenoverse 3 is getting glazed crazy right now. And Xenoverse 2's DLC is just the skeleton tied to the chair underwater right now. Actually, no, I take it back. Xenoverse 2's DLC is the kid that's being left on the side. Sparking Zero's DLC is the being tied to the chair like underwater, because we haven't got a drop of information of Sparking Zero's DLC or Xenoverse 2's DLC, and they're basically supposed to release either this month or next month, so what the heck? I mean, I don't mind waiting, obviously, and again, it makes more sense to obviously promote your newest game more, because obviously it's your newest game, it's going to generate more money, it's going to generate more hype than a trailer for a game that people have just barely been playing for like the last 10 years, right? So I think it makes a lot of sense, but still, VJump every month is going to have something for Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3, and I want to remind you that whenever VJump shows something, if it shows new screenshots, that would mean there's a new trailer, because the screenshots come from trailers. That's just the way it's always been. But yeah, without further ado, I think that's a pretty solid place to end the video, guys. Oh my goodness gracious, guys. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell. That keeps you up to date on all the information relating to Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3. And don't forget to leave a like on the video, as that greatly supports the channel. Again, I do love you all. I hope you all enjoyed, gang, and I'll see you all next time. Take care and peace. Bye-bye.